bright and early this morning, as you can tell. We needed to get here at Yankee Freedom before 7 a.m. because we are headed to the Dry Tortugas, and we are going to be taking the Yankee Freedom boat to the Dry Tortugas. There's just a few ways to get here: by plane, by a private plane, or by this boat. So we are excited about our trip this morning. This adventure is all about under the sea in Key West. In this episode, you're also going to see snorkeling right here on the island at Fort Zachary Taylor. And when we headed to Yankee Freedom, we had to be here by 7 a.m. 7:20 is the orientation, and if you're not here by boarding time, they'll give your tickets to somebody else. So we are excited for this adventure under the sea. You can expect a large group orientation before departure, with an overview of the day and a warning to take some Dramamine if motion sickness is ever an issue. You're called on the boat in small groups, so when you enter, it feels like you're the only one on board. Right away, you'll get a complimentary breakfast, and since it's a 2-hour boat ride to the Dry Tortugas, you'll have plenty of time to fill out paperwork, have breakfast, and rest.
In addition to this area having a high concentration of sea turtles, the other cool thing about this part of the trip is this.
We also got some hints on how to navigate our time on the Dry Tortugas and the best places to snorkel.
And when you look at the map, you'll see that building's the dock house. The dock house is going to be important to you for several reasons throughout the day.
The morning ride flew by, and before we knew it, we were nearing the island. We even got to watch the seaplanes glide in for their landing. Okay, we are headed out to snorkel. Just got off the boat. The south beach is not open, so we're headed to the north beach, which is right of the boat. And we're gonna go down as far on the north beach as we can and swim around Dry Tortugas to get out to the south area to the corals, the furthest point, and then work our way back. Hoping to see some turtles today for sure, some great fish, and some coral. Maybe a shark. Let's see. That's the break in the moat wall that was made by the hurricane. You also get a nice lunch with your Dry Tortugas tour. Turkey sandwich, carrots, chips, kind of just what you need, really. before we're gonna go back in the water in a little bit, but we need some energy to keep us going. What'd you think about the snorkeling so far?
Looking for my first barracuda.
You can take a guided tour of Fort Jefferson when you get here, but we wanted to snorkel as much as we could, so we decided that after lunch we would take a walking tour of Fort Jefferson based on the research we had already done.
We're at Fort Jefferson here on the Dry Tortugas. Fort Jefferson was built in the early 1840s and wasn't completed till 1875, 1876. It was at its height during the Civil War, used to protect America from enemies coming up the Gulf. This was the fort that protected the Gulf of Mexico from the French coming in, from the Spaniards, whatever enemies at the time were coming into the Gulf of Mexico.
The Dry Tortugas is such an interesting name. In our research, we found that the island was originally called Las Tortugas, which means the turtles. Later, British sailors renamed the islands Dry Tortugas because there is no natural water source here. Taking a walk around and on top of Fort Jefferson is worth your time, and a great way to take in the beauty of the island. But we were here to snorkel, so it was time to get back at it, since the boat was leaving around 2:30. Off of Yankee Freedom and wanted to share our thoughts on today's adventure out to the Dry Tortugas. I loved it. It's definitely worth spending a day here in Key West and going to the Dry Tortugas. We saw some beautiful fish, some coral, and my advice would be to swim as close as you can to the walls, and that's where you're going to see things. And one hidden gem is to go out to the buoys, because there's coral and beautiful fish all around the buoys too. You have any?
So Dave, we left the hotel at 10 till 7, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Got on the boat around 7:30 and just got off of it at 5:30 p.m. So it is a long day, and it is hot on the boat if you're sitting outside. So make sure you lotion up. I think we got all the snorkeling we wanted to get in today. The Yankee Freedom did an excellent job, provided a luncheon and a breakfast for us, and it was really good. The Fort Jefferson, it's neat to get around or go through. That's a good experience also when you get on the island there.
Right, and this video under the sea isn't over. Our next stop on this episode is to visit Fort Zachary Taylor, where you can snorkel right off of the Key West Island. So stay tuned for that. We're headed to dinner. bike ride to Fort Zachary Taylor was just 8 minutes from our hotel at the West Winds. It cost $2.50 to get into Fort Zachary Taylor and $20 a person for snorkeling gear with fins. But when we got to Fort Zachary Taylor, the news wasn't great.
The two rock piles out there is where you'd like to snorkel here. That's where the visibility is the best. I will say, however, today we have a strong east wind, which is sort of making the water very turbid. So far, we haven't seen any snorkelers have any success today.
Okay.
Do you have your own gear?
No. So maybe do we need
rent
to...
it, there's no refunds. Right?
Yeah.
It's kind of like, keep an eye on the water. I mean, when you go swimming, if you can't see your feet
I'm not sure if these guys are doing
at knee level, then that's what visibility is going to be.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we'll talk it over and we'll come back then.
Okay.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
We've been hanging out here at the picnic table, watching there's two snorkelers in the water. And they seem to be hanging back of the rocks where the wind is blocking them. Potentially, they say, in these waters you can see lobster, some fish, and maybe even some turtles. So I'm really hoping the wind dies down so we can check it out. John's headed out to talk to the group that was out there snorkeling to see what their thoughts were.
So there's really nothing to see. Visibility is about 4 feet. Just fun being out in the water.
Okay. Guess we can hang out for just a little bit. Maybe you take a walk on the beach. Under the Sea in Key West was really all about the Dry Tortugas, and I would recommend doing that. We've also published another video about water activities in Key West. Recommend that you check that out as well. I want to thank all of our viewers for watching our Key West series. If you haven't seen all of the Key West videos, check them out. We love snorkeling, so if you have ideas of other great places to snorkel in the United States or close to the United States, we'd love to hear about that. Leave us a comment down below. Thanks for watching our next trail. Until next time, let our next trail help you find your next trail.